All right, ladies and gentlemen, I am sitting here with Tom, and well, I'm gonna first. It's Tomlyn Nicholson, but we go by Tom because we're on a more close and not so professional anymore relationship. I would like to say, but Tom here had the pleasure of playing one of the medics in Wired. Um, Amazing scene. And before I really get too deep into it, what I want to say about it that kind of blew me away was the fact that when you were called into this, of course you're not a medic, you're not an EMT, but just seeing how you and Chet sat in the living room and kind of went online, looked at videos, and I guess you guys researched every little thing you possibly could to where you actually nailed this scene. And later, once we talk about it a little more and we show the scene, I think everybody will understand when I say, like, I was blown away by the delivery of it because I could have been fooled. I would have thought you guys were EMTs the entire time when I was looking back at this footage. I was like, wow, like, they nailed it. But before that, I'm going to hand the seat over to you so you can introduce yourself. Tell everybody where they can find you on social media as well as what's going on with Tom.
Great. Yeah. My name's Tomlyn Nicholson. It's at Tomlyn_Nicholson. You spell Tomlyn, Tomlyn. And I've been acting for a while. I used to play music. I played music a lot early in my life, and had a daughter and just kind of stopped doing any type of entertainment to raise her. And she's older now. She's doing great. And so I got back into entertainment and pretty much just acting now. I don't play much music anymore. Guitar player. And but this film was amazing to do. I mean, I was there a very short time in the filming of it, but yeah, this EMT role was very emotional. There was a lot of stuff taking place during it, and we did research it, Jatavius and I did, and it was really heavy working with Leroy and Cass on this. And I was moved by it. I know everybody was. I believe that when you saw the first couple of takes of it, a lot of people had to walk away. They were like, wow, this is really moving, what's happening here. Yeah. And but I had an absolute amazing time doing this. It was great. It was just a real great thing to do.
That's great. And just to backtrack on some of the things, I'll go in backwards order. The scene was powerful. You're right. I mean, there was people literally, bypassers that almost thought something was going on, like they needed to call someone else. Like they seen EMTs there, and there were people coming out wondering if everything was okay. And I think that showed the power of the delivery of it, of what you guys were doing. Because again, I mean, I think people can walk out and kind of tell when it's something not so real or real, but like to have people come outside and at first wonder what was wrong, and people had to say it's okay, they're filming. That spoke volumes. Next to music, I think we conversated a little bit about the music, because I was talking about the soundtrack. I don't know if you remember when we were on set, I was like, I might need some music for the soundtrack, and you're like, I play, so I definitely want to, keep that in mind. Might need, I don't know if you have any old music that you've worked on that you think would kind of, work well, somewhere, in the movie, but definitely keep that in mind. Or if you're willing to, dig deep and pull something out just for the film, that would be great as well. And the last thing, I want to give praise for you saying, like, you put family first. Sometimes, people realize, when you have, son or daughter, sometimes it takes putting your needs, your drive, your career, your passions on the back burner to make sure they're okay. So I really respect you as a man for that, because I know that feeling of saying, okay, I need to do this for the family. So definitely big props to you on that. I guess now we'll dive into what I call the meat and potatoes. We'll try and reveal some details about Wired. I know you said, it was a great scene, and I'm gonna be honest with you. I totally wish that, you know there was more. I do wish there was more. I think the crazy thing about movies is, sometimes there's those scenes that are so impactful, you kind of want more out of that actor, himself. And like I said, you and Chet were great, and I just wish there was something with a little more longevity there. But one of the questions that I always ask everybody, if Wired was something that we wanted to push full scale, and I say full scale like doing shooting the whole entire movie, which of course that would mean the paramedic scene would be a little bit longer because, as you know in the book, there's the ride in the ambulance and other things like that. They show up the ambulance, so it's a little more dramatic. Um, is that something you'd willing to come on board and?
Absolutely, yeah,
Okay.
yeah, that would be great.
All right, that's good to know as well. And I always ask people if you made it through the entirety of the book, what did you think of it, if you did, or how far did you make it through the book to where?
I haven't finished the book, but yeah, I probably, I don't know, maybe about 80% through it.
Okay.
And it is incredibly well written. It really is. I love the book. It's amazing. And I remember doing the table read too.
Yes.
And it is a lot different than the screenplay. I know you wanted to just kind of cut it up and make it work, which we all have to do that in film, and it just happens. And but I loved it. It's amazing. I mean, it's a really, really moving story.
I appreciate it. Definitely appreciate it. Next question. I know you were on set. Like I said, you were there with more than just a few actors. So your time working with a lot of the actors and actresses. Who would you say is your favorite? Who did you like seeing in motion?
Probably Leroy. And yeah, Leroy, he was, we had this very direct in the EMT scene where he's, we're over his dad, and we're trying to save his dad in the scene. And he was very emotional about it. And we just had this kind of thing going on between us that was very moving. Now, I'd have to say it's also a toss-up with Cass, also the lady that plays his mother.
Okay.
She was incredibly moving, and I know off the different takes we did, I mean, there was one that was just incredible, and maybe it was used, I'm not sure, but it really got me moved by it, and I had to kind of, compose myself just to do another take of it, and it was incredible. It really was.
Come on, Bob. Come on, Bob. Come on. Come on. Come on. What?
Ma'am, I'm sorry. There's nothing more we can do at this point.
What are you saying?
I'm sorry, there's nothing more we can do.
No,
Mom, what's going on?
Please, fix him.
Please.
No,
What?
no!
Do something, he's
Fix
dying!
my
Okay,
husband!
you just need to step back.
No,
Please
you
just
step back!
Just
Fix
calm
my
down.
husband! No!
Mom,
Don't tell me to calm down. Fix him!
And then, of course, Newton, also his father. We got along really well. We were tossing the ball back and forth when we were doing different, setups and stuff right before the takes, and really great man. And it was an incredible experience doing that scene.
Yeah, and I know, I guess, and I never spoke on it, but now's a good time to speak on it. But the thing with Newton, what's quite amazing, of course, he flew all the way from Philadelphia to shoot.
I didn't know that. Yeah.
Yeah, flew all the way from Philadelphia, which that's, to me, that speaks volumes to where he read it, he enjoyed it, and wanted to be a part of it. And I know not much is mentioned on him when we're talking about the short script. It's because it kind of gives you that opening to, when you watch the trailer, the bond that he had with his son when he was little, and then to pass on. But of course the book just, once you get, good ways into the book, his character just explodes. Like he's literally, he's in the helmet of Ladarius, through practices and trying to help him and encourage him to make his way back to the top. And I think, anyone that's read it or when they see the film, they'll definitely see what power and bond that him and his son have. But yeah, that scene was, when I tell you, it was powerful. And I think Tasha will probably speak the same. It's like, I'm sitting there like the whole time just watching it. Mouth was probably open, and you just like, man, like I feel for this family that's going through this right now. And again, you hear cut, and then you realize, okay, it wasn't real. Like, and I think that's how deep I was into it at one of the takes, to where it just seemed so real. And like you said, you had to kind of recompose yourself because of the impact and the power from it. So again, amazing job on that. Moving on, talked about favorite cast member. I always like to find out if there's a favorite on-scene moment for you. When I say, well, on set moment, not actually on scene, just being on the set. Was there any moments that kind of stood out, whether they were good or bad to you, that you'll take with you?
There was. Newton was dressed up with a bow tie.
Yeah.
And he's dealing with the young
Ladarius.
Ladarius. That's right. He's dealing with the young Ladarius. And I got to watch that, a couple takes of it as he was doing it. And it was a very moving part. I really, really liked it. I liked Newton a lot. He did a great job seeing that. That was probably, I remember it.
The father-son scene.
Yeah, I remember it. And so even though the scene that I was in was very moving, I just remember that father-son scene. Maybe it touched me a little bit more, seeing that, reminded me of me with my father when I was young, that type of thing. But it was a great scene I got to see, so I'm interested to see that.
Good. Son, this game that you love to play and love to watch, it could bring so many rewards in your life. But it comes at a great price, because in a blink of an eye, in just a moment, it could take all those rewards away if you let it, though.
You mean the injury, Dad?
Yeah, injuries, that can stop the show, yeah. But I'm thinking of something that's probably a little worse. See, we're all competitors, and we get into that competition mode, and we dig deep and give all we can, but there's times when we still need help from others, so we gotta rely and trust others to help us, meet our goals and get that win. It's that time that you have to realize that your battle is against the moment. You gotta defeat the moment.
Well, Dad, I just want to play some cat.
I'm sorry, son, man. I figured I'd try to have this talk with you a little early, but I think maybe it's a little too early for you. So how about I change my clothes, we head on down to the park, you get the balls, and we can throw something. How's that sound? Outstanding.
All right. I want to backtrack to what I didn't do. I know you said you were working on some other things, and I always ask, are you at liberty to kind of say what you have in the pot right now, or is it kind of
yeah, there is a series called Repo that I'm working on, and it's basically a buddy comedy, and it's set here in San Diego.
Nice.
And so I can't really talk about the content of it,
No,
but
understood.
I think everybody's gonna like it. It's a real funny show, and so that's really good. Another one, a horror film, so of course, so we're all doing these kind of horror films, but it's a really good one, and I can kind of talk about it a little bit more. It's set around vineyards and wine in Temecula, and so another San Diego County type of film.
Okay.
And so I think that should be a pretty fun one, pretty good.
It's a horror one.
Yeah.
Horror in the vineyards. Okay.
That's right. Yeah, I can't tell you what the horror end of it is, but I can tell you the vineyard end of it.
All right, that's good. That's good. All right. I'm going to open the floor up to you for a question or two, and you're at will to pick my brain. Any questions you have?
Yeah, actually, I do. On the book. So you wrote the book first.
Yes.
And how, when you finished the book, when you were doing the book, did you think of a screenplay? Was it in mind when you were doing the book?
Well, the funny thing that I tell everybody, because people don't really know it, like I basically decided to, I wrote it in screenplay format. Like I guess a lot of people think that I wrote it and then put it into screenplay format, but I literally, when I first started writing the book, I wrote it in screenplay format. There's the industry software Final Draft. So I just so happened to have a copy of Final Draft. I think it was Final Draft 9 or something like that. I think they're probably at 10 or 12 by now. But and it was like screenwriting, software. So I'm like, screenwriting software. So I did all this research on YouTube about it. I'm like, wow, like this is how people write. They turn their books into movies. But I wanted to step out of the box. I said, let me just start writing this in screenplay from the jump. So there was never anything written out like a regular book. I just literally went into writing this in screenplay format, and people don't know that. And I happened to go to this book conference one time, and I showed the book to someone, and the lady that I showed it to, she was from a production studio in LA, and she was like, "Wow," she's like, "You don't see this that much." And I was like, "What do you mean?" She said, "You don't see people writing their books in screenplay format. It's rare that you find, authors that can do that." And it just goes back to, I'm trying to think, I'm probably not going to think of the name of the book, but they're like those books that have the, the different, characters or whatnot, to where it's somewhat like a Harry Potter, but not a Harry Potter.
Okay.
I won't think of the name of the book to save my life, but that's what, when I went to Barnes and Noble and I was trying to research books in screenplay format, I just so happened to see, that author's book, and I've seen how they went with it. And then again, like I said, I just went with writing mine in a screenplay format. So it was something that just happened from the jump. It wasn't a book turned into screenplay. It was screenplay from the jump.
Okay. Yeah, because reading it, I was thinking it was just a book that you had written and then just kind of said, you know what, I'm going to make this into a film because it's great. It's really good. I guess. So when you finished the book, did you just immediately jump into doing a film?
I didn't. It took a while, and when I say a good little while, Tasha knows it was something that I thought about. Me and her talked about it, and she was like, "Yeah, if you ever decide you want to, let me know." And it's kind of like, I don't know. And then I think I actually had a moment to sit on it. Oh yeah, this is what's crazy. I was going somewhere, and of course I had never read my book back. Like I wrote it, but I said I wasn't gonna read it back, and I was on a long flight, so I took my book with me. So I have this thing that I do where I take a couple books with me when I travel, and I just leave them in bookstores at the airport. So somebody
that's nice.
either picks them up and takes them or something of that nature. But it's just, I always just leave a book. But I read my book on a flight, and I think that was the moment where it was like, you need to do a short film for it. And there it just morphed into it. I got back in touch with Tasha, and she was ready to rock and roll with it, and we started to put everything together. So it was a little while after, maybe almost a year, but it hit me on that flight, and everything went into motion. It couldn't have been at a better time because, having all you guys a part of it was amazing.
That was great, and Tasha was great. I've run into Tasha on a couple different projects now.
That's cool.
She was great. Yeah.
That's why I say it's a small world. Like Leroy's dad's been working on something. I got pulled on to work with that project, and Maya got pulled on to work with that project. Like everybody's, doing something, and it's great to see people running into each other. Like Monique was on that project as well, and I ran into her. I was like, well, yeah. So yeah, it's good to see everybody doing everything, and I definitely hope to run into you guys more frequently with whatever it is. Ultimately, I hope again to be able to go with a big production with this once it gets out and starts hitting film festivals. Hopefully, it's enough to where we can do something big with it.
Yeah. I don't see why not. Yeah, it's a great film. I mean, I love the trailer. What I've seen from it so far.
Yep, can't wait. All right. Anything else for me?
I can't think of anything offhand, but
So we're going to jump into what I call the lightning round, where I just ask some questions and you don't have to take too much time to think about them. Just give your answer.
okay.
All right. One of my favorite is stuck in a movie theater for 24 hours. What's a movie that you can watch over and over for those 24 hours?
Oh,
Go-to movie.
go-to movie. God, that's hard. It really is a hard one. I think I'm probably gonna throw out a Stephen King.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, and I'm gonna say let it. No, I'm gonna say The Shining.
The Shining.
Probably,
Okay,
and
okay.
I know a lot of people don't like that film. I love
Yeah,
that
I
film.
think, man.
I love the film.
Wow, when I first watched The Shining, it had me, man. I was like, what is going on?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's not a bad choice. Not a bad choice. I mean, most people probably have nightmares after watching that for 24 hours straight, but
They do. Maybe that's why. Yeah, when I was young and I watched it, maybe that's why it was, and I just got into it. And I know that a lot of people consider that a slow movie, but it's really good. The book was written incredibly well.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Okay. Shining. Didn't see that one coming. That's good. That's good. Go-to album. Long cross-country trip. What could you have? You know how back in the days you put your cassette in and be stuck? You know, if we were back in those days and one cassette could be stuck inside your tape deck for a cross-country drive from New York to California, what would you have in the tape deck?
You might not know this album. It's the Pixies, and
Pixies.
yeah, that's right. Surfer Rosa is the name of the album. I love that album. I've listened to him since I was a teenager.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good thing when I ask you guys these questions, I go back and I listen to some of the things. Like I had Jacob in here, and he said Charlie Puth, and I was like,
Okay.
I kind of remember Charlie Puth, so I went back and started listening to it.
Yeah.
So yeah, it kind of lets you know like the type of person by the music they listen to. So I'm definitely gonna go back and just
Yeah. Check it out. Yeah.
just to get a taste, just get a little bit of taste. Like I said, music is just like the universal language. Everybody can come together with music, man, especially if it's the right music. So that's good. That's good. All right. Trying to think of one more deep question. Just one more.
A few moments later.
I think we did it, man. I think we did. I'm trying to think of anything that I may have missed, but I don't think I missed anything. So, I guess this is where we'll wrap it. I'll give you the camera one last time to speak into it and let everybody know any and everything that you want them to know, whether it be about Wired or yourself, and then we'll wrap it up.
That's right. I'm Tomlyn Nicholson, and I had a great time working on Wired Film. It's going to be a great film. You guys should really look to see when this film comes out. I'm sure you're going to love it. Thank you.
All right, there you have it. Tomlyn Nicholson played the EMT in the book Wired. If you haven't had a chance to grab it, it's on Amazon. A couple different formats and covers, but it's the same book. Don't let the cover defer you away from it. If you haven't had a chance to, go by YouTube, search the official Wired trailer, take a look at it, subscribe, leave comments. We'll definitely be posting release dates, giveaways, and other things that we'll be doing here soon. All right, thank you for tuning in. Have a great day.